I used to think cutting carbs was the only way to keep my blood sugar from going wild. Lord knows I tried every diet trick in the book, low carb, no carb, fasting, you name it. But every time I'd eat even a small baked potato or a slice of cornbread, my numbers would shoot up like a 4th of July firework. It felt like my body was broken. Like no matter how hard I tried, I was still fighting an invisible enemy inside me. But turns out the real problem wasn't just the carbs. One morning, I added a spoonful of something I hadn't touched since my younger days. Stone ground mustard. Just 1 tablespoon. Didn't expect much. But over the next few weeks, my energy came back, my numbers improved, and even my doctor raised his eyebrows at the chart. "What have you been doing differently?" he asked. And I smiled, because sometimes the answer ain't in a new pill. Sometimes it's in the pantry, just waiting for us to rediscover it. If you've ever felt like your body's working against you, give this video a like and share it with someone who needs hope. The smell of cinnamon rolls used to make me feel guilty. Not because I didn't love them, but because I thought every bite was feeding the enemy, my blood sugar. But here's what I've come to learn. Carbs aren't the true villain. They're just the ones taking the blame. What's really behind insulin resistance for many of us is silent inflammation creeping through our bodies like a slow fire we didn't even know was burning. Down here in the South, we tend to call things what they are. And what this really is, folks, is an inflammatory condition. It messes with our cells, makes them stubborn to insulin, and then, only then, do we start having trouble with bread or fruit. So it's not that your body hates carbs. It's that your cells are too inflamed to use them right. Now, ain't that something? We spend all this time avoiding biscuits, when maybe we should be looking at what's lighting that fire inside us. Gut toxins, processed oils, even lack of sleep, they all poke the bear. They inflame us. And that inflammation blocks insulin from doing its job. Sugar builds up in the blood, and boom, our doctor starts talking about prediabetes or worse. What gave me peace was realizing this wasn't just about willpower. I wasn't weak. My body was under attack from the inside, and it was doing its best. Once I started calming the inflammation down, everything began to change. My sugar, my cravings, even my joints felt looser. So before we blame that spoonful of mashed potatoes, maybe we ought to ask, what's making my body so inflamed in the first place? That question, right there, could save somebody a whole lot of pain. Funny how something that used to sit untouched in the back of my fridge became one of the best things I ever did for my health. That little jar of stone ground mustard, with its bold smell and peppery kick, turned out to be a secret weapon. I started adding just 1 tablespoon a day, sometimes on my eggs, other times stirred into a bit of Greek yogurt. Simple, easy, and powerful. See, real mustard, the kind with actual mustard seeds in it, carries a compound called AITC. Now, I ain't no scientist, but I can tell you this. That stuff does something special. My energy got steadier, my afternoon crashes vanished, and I wasn't as hungry all the time. All that from a bite that used to just sit on hot dogs? Back in the old days, mustard was more than just a condiment. Folks used it to help with digestion, to ease pain, even to wake folks up when they fainted. There's a reason it has that punch. It's alive with compounds God put in nature for a purpose. AITC is like a little spark plug for your metabolism. And the closer you get to the real thing, Dijon or stone ground, the better it seems to work. I remember the first time I swapped out the bright yellow stuff for the grainy kind. Took a bit of getting used to, but the flavor grew on me fast. Now I even crave it. And knowing it helps my blood sugar and inflammation, that's just the cherry on top. So if you got a dusty jar of real mustard hiding in your fridge, maybe it's time to bring it out and give it a second chance. You might be surprised what that tiny spoonful can stir up in your body and your life. My grandson's always reading those science articles on his phone. One day he looked up from the screen and said, "Grandpa, did you know mustard can help with blood sugar?" I chuckled at first. What? That stuff I slap on a ham sandwich. But he wasn't kidding. Turns out, there are real studies showing that AITC, the spicy compound in mustard seeds, can lower blood sugar and boost metabolism. Now that got my attention. See, this AITC seems to help our body bring sugar out of blood and into the cells, like unlocking a door. It even boosts something called GLUT2 transporters, which help the liver and pancreas manage glucose better. And let me tell you, when those two organs are working together, everything feels smoother, less fatigue, fewer spikes, better sleep. But it doesn't stop there. AITC also cranks up the body's own antioxidant defense, fighting off stress and inflammation from the inside. I didn't even know we made our own antioxidants. How about that? God sure built us smart. When I started this little mustard habit, I didn't just feel lighter. I felt clearer, like my whole system was breathing easier. What really surprised me, though, was how AITC also increases fat burning and helps the body switch between burning sugar and fat more smoothly. It's like giving your metabolism a well-oiled gearbox. One day you're stuck in second, and suddenly you're cruising through town in fifth. I still can't believe such a powerful helper was hiding in something so ordinary. Makes you wonder how many other treasures are sitting on our shelves, waiting to be noticed again. The older I get, the more I realize that pain don't always come with a warning. Sometimes it shows up quiet. Swollen hands, stiff knees, foggy thoughts. That's inflammation, and it's sneaky. Like a slow leak in a tire, it wears us down without making a sound. What I didn't know was that mustard, of all things, has a way of putting out that fire. Inside that little spoonful of stone ground mustard is AITC, and this tiny compound does something incredible. It fights inflammation at the root, especially the kind caused by gut toxins most folks don't even know they have. We're talking about lipopolysaccharides. Don't worry about the name. Just know they're like little sparks lighting fires all over your body. And mustard helps put them out. It goes even deeper. AITC works with something in your body called NRF2, which is like your God-given internal firefighter. When it kicks in, it tells your cells to make more antioxidants, clean up damage, and calm down those out-of-control immune reactions. I didn't know any of this at first. I just felt better. My joints stopped barking at me when I stood up in the morning, and I didn't need that second cup of coffee just to feel awake. It reminded me of how Mama used to say, sometimes the Lord sends help in plain wrapping. Mustard ain't fancy, but what it does inside your body is nothing short of a miracle. It cools the fire from the inside out. And thinking back, I thank God I didn't ignore that old jar in the fridge. That tiny spoonful helped me feel like myself again, and that's a blessing I don't take lightly. If you ever taken a bite of strong mustard and felt it shoot up your nose and wake you right up, you've met TRPA1. It's a little receptor in your nervous system that reacts to spicy, pungent things. That zing, that's not just flavor. That's activation. And AITC, found in real mustard seeds, hits TRPA1 like a church bell at sunrise. It wakes up your whole system. Now, I ain't saying mustard will replace your morning coffee, but it sure gave me a lift. After a week or two of adding that tablespoon to my meals, I noticed I wasn't dragging my feet after lunch anymore. Felt sharper, like I was walking in a cool breeze instead of a heavy fog. That's because this little compound doesn't just spice up your food, it stimulates your nervous system and gets your cells moving. It even triggers something called thermogenesis, which is a fancy word for heat making. Basically, your body starts burning more calories, especially from fat, just by staying warm and alert. It's like your inner pilot light burns brighter. I started feeling more focused, less sluggish, and honestly, even in a better mood. One study even suggests AITC can slow down the formation of new fat cells. Now I don't need to be skinny, but if something helps keep my belly from growing every holiday season, I'll take it. And this time, it's not another diet. It's a small, flavorful habit that actually feels good. Some things jolt your taste buds. Others wake up your spirit. This little mustard trick? Somehow it did both. Back when I was young, my grandma used to say, if it ain't satisfying, you'll be hungry again in an hour. She was right. And these days, I've found that mustard, real mustard, does something most folks don't expect. It helps you feel satisfied. Not stuffed, not starving, just right. I started adding it to my meals almost as a flavor boost. But something changed. I wasn't picking at snacks all afternoon. I didn't feel like raiding the fridge after dinner. That sharp little bite of mustard, it seems, does more than tickle the tongue. It talks to the brain, telling it, Hey, we're good down here. Turns out this effect is real. AITC can increase sensory satisfaction, especially when eaten with protein or healthy fats. And when your brain gets that message, you naturally eat less without thinking about it. No counting, no stress. Just fewer cravings and a feeling that you've had enough. I used to reach for seconds without even tasting the first. Now I eat slower and enjoy more. It's funny how something so bold in taste brings such quiet to your appetite. Almost like it helps the body remember what it means to feel full and grateful, not just stuffed. My portions are smaller, my weight steadier, and for once, I feel like I'm in control without fighting myself every meal. Looking back, it wasn't willpower that made the difference. It was wisdom, small choices that bring peace instead of struggle. And I thank God for every meal that ends with a deep breath instead of regret. Some folks think you've got to overhaul your whole life just to feel better. But what if it only takes a tablespoon? That's what mustard taught me. I didn't change everything. I just added one small habit, and the Lord did the rest. 1 spoon of stone ground or Dijon mustard, once a day, either with lunch or dinner. That's it. No stress, no spreadsheets, no crazy rules. I like mine stirred into cottage cheese or spread on top of a slice of turkey. Sometimes I mix it into a little vinaigrette and pour it over roasted veggies. It gives the food a kick and does the body good. What matters is a type. You want mustard with real seeds, not that neon yellow stuff from the ballpark. Look for stone ground, whole grain, or Dijon on the label. The trick is consistency. Don't expect fireworks after one meal, but give it 2, maybe 3 weeks, and you might notice your blood sugar smoothing out, your cravings quieting, your energy return like an old friend. I know I did. My pants fit better, my mood was lighter, and my doctor, he almost dropped his pen when he saw the lab results. There's something beautiful about feeling your body come back online. Not because you punished it, but because you nourished it. That 1 small spoon of mustard helped me reconnect with my health, my appetite, and my hope. It's funny how healing sometimes comes in the form of something tangy, humble, and forgotten at the back of the fridge. And thank the Lord, I didn't miss a chance to try it. I used to think feeling tired, foggy, and achy was just part of getting older. That's just how it is after 60. I'd say, but I was wrong. The truth is, we don't have to settle for just surviving. We can feel alive again, one small habit at a time. That tablespoon of mustard was a miracle cure, but it was a turning point. A reminder that healing doesn't always come in big, dramatic changes. It can start with something small and stick. What surprised me most wasn't just the numbers on my glucose monitor. It was the way my hope came back. I started walking more, smiling more, even sleeping better. It felt like my body was listening again. And it all began when I stopped fighting the symptoms and started supporting the root cause, inflammation. Now, before you go and change your whole routine, just a gentle reminder, talk to your doctor, especially if you're on medications. What worked for me might work for you too, but it's always wise to have a trusted hand guide you. After all, this journey is about taking steps with wisdom, not fear. So if you're standing in your kitchen wondering if one little spoonful can really make a difference, try it. Give it a place on your plate, and give your body a chance to speak for itself. Healing might come slower than we want, but it comes. Take care of yourselves. Stay curious. Stay kind. And as always, God bless y'all.